I reckon he's a better passer than LeBron.
If you like anything you see today, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to see our content first. Now, let's get back to the video. After somewhat of a disappointing year for the Atlanta Hawks, they've ended up with the 6th overall pick. They're an extremely young team. They have Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, Clint Capella now, and John Collins. And I think the oldest player out of those 6 guys is Clint Capella. He's 26. So the Hawks are a team who are looking to build for the future. And I think this year will be a big developmental year for the Atlanta Hawks. In terms of the draft pick, they have a bunch of options. They have a lot of their positions shored up. They have a decent backcourt in Trae Young and Kevin Huerter. They have some good wings in DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish. Then obviously they have Clint Capella, who has, proven to be quite a decent defensive-minded big man. What do you guys think the Hawks should do for the upcoming offseason?
I honestly think they should trade Dwayne Dedman, who's their backup center. And yeah, honestly, they should definitely look at putting some nice defensive pieces around Trae. Trae, he's second in the league in assists. So, if you get him some 3-and-D guys, definitely up that number. I reckon he's a better passer than LeBron, for sure.
The Hawks need a second playmaker. And I think you could look to free agency. Chris Dunn is a very interesting free agent. He has obviously elite defense, and I think he had a down year last year with the Bulls, but that could be, as a result of coaching issues. But I think the Hawks should try and sign Chris Dunn. Obviously they could try and get a playmaker from the draft, but Chris Dunn is a proven defender, which would complement Trae extremely well. In terms of the drafts, I do like Okoro. I think that the Hawks do have a lot of wings though, in terms of like Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter. Obviously you have Huerter at the shooting guard position. So, adding a third small forward in there might kind of, crowd that position, and you might not be able to get those guys developmental minutes. Because look, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, they're super young. They're like 21, 22. So it's not like they've reached their primes yet. So maybe adding someone in, like an Okoro, might take away some minutes for them to keep developing. And that's a really important thing to remember about this Hawks team. They're all super young. They should be trying to play as many minutes as possible to try and just develop.
The Atlanta Hawks should be very bullish about their future. Mike, as you mentioned, all that young talent coming through. They've got a franchise player in Trae Young, who averaged 30-9 last season in just his second year. Only the 5th player in NBA history to do so. Just an interesting stat that I found is his offensive rating when on the court for the Hawks is 112.6, but when off the court, the Hawks really struggle, 98.5. So for me, if I'm the Hawks, they got their pick 6 in the draft this year. With pick 6 in the draft this year, I think the Hawks should be looking at Tyrese Halliburton. He's a 6'5" point guard. He's a good secondary playmaker to help Trae Young. He's a good off-ball player. He's effective and efficient, and he's a really a guy that I think that the Hawks can rely on to really run that bench unit when Trae's not on the court, because I think that's important, because sometimes you lose track of your star can't play 48 minutes a game. So it's really important to have those rotational players who can help the likes of John Collins when he's leading the offense. Obviously that pick and roll offense with Trae and John Collins, we had Collins missing half of last year, so he'll be fit and ready to come back next year. He's a 20-10 guy and can continue to grow into potentially 25-10 guy. I think, Mike, you make a great point. Isaac Okoro, a great perimeter defender. He's got doesn't have that 3-point shot yet, which is kind of what everyone's after in those wing players these days, that 3-and-D. But I definitely think it can come. Isaac Okoro, great defender, would make an instant impact to that weak Atlanta Hawks defense. So he's definitely not a bad shout.
Yeah, the tough thing with the Hawks is they're kind of in this gray area. Like you said, it really is just a developmental year for the Atlanta Hawks. They don't really have those NBA championship aspirations or potential quite yet. They're just a few tiers below that, but they do have a bunch of young pieces. So I think that they should draft and sign with all of that in mind. Someone I think that they could try and draft is Killian Hayes from France. He's a point guard, and I think he would He'd work as a great secondary playmaker for Trae. He doesn't turn 19 until July next year, so it kind of fits in with the whole young group that the Hawks have. And I think that pairing those two together might be the play. If the Hawks can prove themselves this year and show that, okay, all of these developmental pieces, they're really coming together. If they can prove themselves this year, they might be able to draw a really big free agent in that 2021 free agency class that would fit alongside Trae, John Collins, and Capella, who are all under contract. So I think that that's probably the best plan for the Hawks, potentially adding a superstar. But I mean, you have a wealth of talent. It's just a young team. You know, that's pretty much the only reason they're really losing. They're just all really young, and none of them have really hit their peaks yet. So if I'm the Hawks GM, I'm keeping the ship. I'm keeping the crew together.
Legit.
I'm just developing them, trying to give all the young guys as many minutes as possible. Adding, too many other pieces, it might hurt the development of their core six. So for me, if I'm the Hawks, just giving everyone as many minutes as possible. Comment down below, what do you guys think the Hawks should do this offseason?
Hey guys, cheers for making it to the end of the video. Really appreciate your time and listening to our opinions. Whether you agree or disagree with us, please drop a comment down below. Let us know. We're just trying to learn and grow our channel. And talking to growing our channel, feel free to drop us a subscribe as well. Really help us grow and really get our name out there. Really appreciate it, guys.